Hi, and welcome to the Bookish Stitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, Goodreads, and Periscope, although not so much on Periscope. I haven't done much on there, as Bookish Stitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a wonderful week since I last podcast. I've had a really good one. One of my good friends, probably one of my best friends locally in San Antonio, has her birthday on Monday, November 2nd. And it's also a very good day to have a birthday because ironical knitter Jennifer, happy birthday to you tomorrow, has a birthday on November 2nd too. But my friend's birthday is tomorrow, my friend Lisa. And I've known her, we have kids that are same age, and I met her through a play group. And she and I took her out to a movie as a treat for her birthday, paid for tickets and stuff. And we went and saw Crimson Peak by Guillermo del Toro, who is one of my favorite directors, and he just does such visually stunning films. They're really creepy, so if you don't like creepy movies, don't go see his. But we went and saw that and had a wonderful evening, just me and my friend hanging out, and I was so happy to get to spend time with her and enjoy something that we both like. And then yesterday was Halloween, and it's been raining here again this week. More flash floods, more all kinds of crazy rain. I was driving my son to school on Friday. There was some really bad rain, and so I was worried about Halloween, but it was okay. The morning there was no rain, and I made it to the post office and mailed off. So if you were expecting a prize package from me, that has been mailed off, so it's on its way to you. Thank you for being patient. And then it rained in the afternoon, and then it let up in time for trick-or-treating. And we took my kids out trick-or-treating, a small group, and there's a ton of kids this year. It varies. Some years there's a lot, some years there's not. And we did have enough candy. I'm glad we went and got extra on Halloween. But it was just fun. My daughter dressed up as a fairy, and my son was Link from The Legend of Zelda. And I just had a wonderful time. My daughter was so cute running around. She's 3, and her bag of candy got too heavy for her to carry it, so I was carrying it in between houses and stuff for her. And we went around for a while, and we came back to the house to pass out candy, and she just kept saying to the kids, "Hey kid, you want some candy?" It was very cute. So that's one of my favorite ages to be trick-or-treating because everything is just so funny and exciting. But let's get on to the knitting. I'm actually having some wonderful tea. I can't remember, I think it's English breakfast that my friend Robin, 92 sent to me. Thank you, Robin, in a swap that we did. So the first finished object I have is my Jinx yarn socks in the October rainbow color. And I think this color is gorgeous. It has kind of the rainbow and muted Octoberish fall colors. There's purple and orange and this yellow and then green and blue. And I just did my standard way. I do toe up with a fish lips kiss heel and then just a really long cuff. And then the next finished object that I have is my Cablelicious hat, my Cablelicious beret. And this was gifted to me by Circe Belle B, who is a designer, Circe Belle's Boucle. And it's really fun story with this because this is her design. Let me show the hat really quick. But this is done in Bumble Birch yarn. And you can't tell on video or on camera, I can't get it to show, but the decreases form a flower pattern. And there are baubles, and it's just so pretty. And this color, it's Bumble Birch yarn, and the color is Winter Solstice. And you can see the center of the flower right there. And you can kind of see it. And it's not showing the color true to life. It looks very gray on here, but it is a deep winter blue. It's very, very pretty. And there's the baubles. This was such a fun knit. My mom asked for one, and I will not mind knitting another one because I loved knitting this. It was so fun. There was interesting stuff happening all throughout the hat. And awesomely enough, Circe Belle B on Ravelry is from France, and she's a designer, and she's on Instagram, and she writes her Instagrams in French and in English, and I love reading that because I always learn new French words because I'm not fluent by any means, but French is probably the language I know best out of all the languages that I know. And I just commented to her on her Instagram that I loved reading her posts because I learn new words all the time. I think I learned the word on that one for dried fruit. I didn't know that word before for dried. And then she said that we could be pen pals. So I got my first letter from her. So thank you so much. It came in the mail this week. And it's all in French, and she had some tea bags in it. And my husband was like, "Did you get a letter from France?" And he was very impressed. And I was reading it to him because he took French too, but he's forgotten all of his. He doesn't watch movies or try to keep up current with the language. And while I've probably forgotten a lot because I don't use it every day and I learned it in high school and college, but I do listen to it frequently enough, and I have been trying to work on it to make sure I don't lose it recently. And so I could read most of the letter. There were only a couple words out of a 2-page letter that I had to look up, so I was very proud of myself. And I'm going to be writing you back this week and mailing that off to you. It's just a lot of fun to be pen pals with someone from another country so I can practice my French. And those are my finished objects for this week. Take another sip of my tea. And this is in a mug that I painted at a pottery shop. So first, work in progress. I finished that hat. I started another one, and this is a present for my sister-in-law for Christmas. And this hat, it's another hat, because I wanted to always be working on hats during our hat cal. And I have this in my Once Upon a Corgi bag, which I still am in love with. And this yarn is some of my oldest yarn. It is tinted, and it's Luxe Girl. And it's 250 yards, and it is, my sister-in-law likes really nice stuff, so I was telling her this has cashmere in it to kind of break her into liking this hat. And I let her pick it out. I put a whole bunch of different hat patterns up on Pinterest, and I said, "Which one do you like?" And so she picked it. So fingers crossed that she will like this and wear it. But this is the Forest Floor hat by Alana Decos. And it, again, the camera's making it look striped. It's not that strong of a stripe, but you can see there are leaves going all up the hat. And I'm almost done with it. I'm on the decreases. So another Christmas present almost done. And I think she'll like this. The colorway on this is called Java. Yes, Java, and she likes really neutral, so I think this will be perfect for her. I'm really excited because I'm making a very good dent in my Christmas list. I'm almost done. And then the next thing I worked on this week is in my Bags by Awesome Granny, the whale bag. So cute. And in here is my Coraline sweater by Ysolda Teague. And this is out of some, let me get the label for you guys. It's hidden under. This is in some Madeline Tosh Pashmina in the teddy bear colorway. I'm going to move my coffee so I don't get, not my coffee, my tea, so I don't get stuff in it. This is in the teddy bear, and this was also one of my older skeins. And then it's getting to the point where it's so big it's hard to show to you guys. So last week I had, where's the sleeve? Okay, so last week I had one sleeve done and I was just right there on this sleeve. So this week I knit this entire, the rest of the sleeve, and then I joined to do the yoke. And as you can see, it's coming along. So there's the sleeves. And it has smocking on the yoke, which is gorgeous. Yeah, you can see it. The smocking does take concentration. I've messed it up a couple times, but I just went back and fixed it. Hopefully this will be done really soon because it is November and there's this thing going on right now called Nanasuemo, which is National Knit a Sweater in a Month thing, and I kind of want to participate in it. And I have this, another one of my oldest skeins. It's some handmaiden, I believe, and I want to knit a featherweight cardigan. I've knit it before. When I was first a new knitter, I knit it, and I knit it out of this yarn that looked gorgeous in the skein, but then when you put it in a sweater, it looked crazy. It was just too variegated. I had no idea when I started knitting what would translate into a good garment. And so I gave that to someone who likes wearing crazy colors out way more than I do. And I'm going to knit myself another featherweight, hopefully in a month. We'll see. It's kind of a big challenge, isn't it? I don't know if I'll get it done. And then my last work in progress is in a bag that I got at Rhinebeck from my friend Sue, who is Crafty Knitter 7, and her Etsy shop is the Tangled Skeins CA for Canada. I just realized all my bags are blue. The light blue, the dark blue, and then another dark blue with foxes. And they all have animals on them. Birds, whales, and foxes. And the inside on this is pretty too. It's just blue flowers or leaves, I think. And then, so I started something for our Sparkle Cal. And our Sparkle Cal has just started today. And it runs from December and November. So you have 2 months to make something sparkly. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone who put pattern recommendations up. I have so many new patterns now that I want to knit. And I actually realized for this one that I had a pattern that Kellyanne, who's Kellyanne on Ravelry, had gifted me at the Star Shower. She had won a prize and I mailed it to her, and then she gifted me a pattern, which was really sweet. Thank you. And she has a wonderful blog. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. You can find her on Ravelry, and then there's a link to her blog through there, I believe. She takes gorgeous pictures. And she had gifted me the Star Shower, which is a pattern by Hilary Smith Callis. And so I just started it today, and I'm knitting it in another Crafty Girl. Also another very old skein. I'm just working through those old skeins. This is Wheatley, and I'm not going to tell you when. It tells you, it says created on. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's not that old. It's just, it's over 2 years, but that's not too bad. And this is Twinkle Sock. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And like I said, I just started it this morning, so it's very tiny. And right now it's striping, but it won't for long. And as you can see in the skein, it's silver and blue with silver stellina. And I think I'm apparently all about the blue today, and I think that's going to be a gorgeous cowl. You can see the shininess. So that is my new cast on, because I always like to have something going for the knit-alongs that we do in the podcast group. And I want to say that there's going to be a whole bunch of prizes, hopefully, for this. I have some for you guys, and I had a couple people contact me and ask to donate things, which is so sweet. And if anybody else has anything sparkly or sparkle related that they would like to donate, I would love that. It gives the more the merrier on prizes. And I loved so much on the hat cowl that we just finished up, having a chatter thread that was really active and giving prizes for that I'm going to do that again with the Sparkle cowl. We'll have 2 threads, one for finished objects and one for chatter, but the chatter thread will have awesome prizes for it too, so you can get prizes on both. And that is all of my my works in progress. More tea. I have had all the tea before the podcast is over. Now onto my spinning. I am really proud of myself with this because I didn't really want to do it. I wanted to put something new on my wheel and not work on one of my spindles, which is why these projects have been languishing for so long. If I was really wanting to work on them, I would have finished them. But I told myself, you need to finish this. So I picked up one and finished it this week. I finished the very last little bit this morning. And this is on my trindle, and it is sparkly. Seemed to be a trend today. And it is blue. Oh my goodness, I did not plan on that. Everything is blue. And it's so pretty. You can't see, but underneath it starts out, it says knitting color that I got a little while ago at the SSK 2014. And underneath here is a light blue, and it was a color progression from this light blue to sky blue, like a sky blue, and then a turquoise, and then this very dark blue with sparkle. And it's pretty full. As you can see, I I enjoyed spinning this a lot. Once I got started on it, I didn't want to work on it at first, but then I made myself and I liked it. So, yay, it's done. That's spinning. And I know the next project I'm going to work on is a white, sparkly, pretty one. And I'm going to apply those two together. That was my plan all along. I just hadn't ever finished. So let's see. That's knitting, that's spinning. Let's do group news and then stash enhancement. So group news. We just finished up our hat cal, and that was a huge success. There were 275 posts in there, so you guys are awesome. And I didn't write in there a lot because I wanted to save it so I wouldn't be drawing my number when I drew for prizes, but I was reading it all, and I loved how much everybody was cheering each other on and just saying such positive things about everybody's FOs, which is why I want another chatter thread with prizes for the Sparkle Cal, because I like getting to comment or read comments and stuff like that on people's finished objects. So the prize winners for the Hat Cal, we had 2 through 275, and the first one was 110, which is Night Owl Knitter. You win a pattern of your choice, $7 or less. And the second one, I'm going to read my writing, post 204, or is it 209? I think that's 204, Crafty Lynette R. And you win a pattern of your choice, $7 or less. And then we also had we have our 15 oldest skeins going on throughout the whole year, and it's use up your 15 oldest skeins. And every time you use one up, you can post in that thread to win a pattern of your choice, $7 or less. And the winner of that one, there's so many prizes this week. The winner of that one was post number 18, Yarning for a Smile. So you won, so just contact me with what pattern you would like. And then the hand spun, which I'm definitely going to be doing more hand spun giveaways because you guys like them a lot more than I thought you would. Like I said last week, I did not think I thought a couple people would enter, but not many. And there's so many. And I have a lot of hand spun, and I was in clubs, and you know, you get some stuff kind of that it's not necessarily your colors, but you think it's pretty, but you don't know what you would make with it. And also, hand spun is beautiful, but there's only so many projects that it looks good in, if that makes any sense. So I, want to give some of it away. And these are the 2 braids. There's a Moon Rover, just as a club shipment. And that's just a tie. That's not any of the... That's how I finished. And then this one was Huckleberry Knits. And the color was, I think, Lady Sybil. This is a Merino Nylon blend, 80/20. And this is a Polworth. And this one, I actually really like that blue with that pink. It's very, very pretty. So the winners for this were post number 72, Julie R. Knits, and post number 26, Amiosaurus. She has 3 A's in her name, so I had to say it like that. But both of them said that they would be happy with either one. So you guys, whoever posts first on the episode thread, on Ravelry, not on YouTube or anything else, just on Ravelry under this thread, which one you would like, I'll send it to you, and then the other one can have the other one since you said that you'd like both. So this is Huckleberry, Moon Rover, so you can pick. And that is all of the group news. Like I said, we have our Sparkle Cal going on right now, and I'm very excited about it. And I plan to knit along with you guys. Thank you for sharing and talking and showing on Instagram with the hashtag Sparkle Cal. That's been a lot of fun. And I am excited to have a whole bunch of prizes and stuff to give away for this, and I'll show them soon. I forgot to bring down some of them. And some of them I'll probably show when they arrive, because some people have contacted me about doing prizes for it, which is wonderful. And now for the rest of the Rhinebeck enabling stash enhancement. I know I meant to show it all last week, but when I started podcasting, it was late in the day and I didn't have time, so I thought I'll just show half of it this week and try to keep the podcast around 20 minutes. That didn't happen. Even with just showing half, I was still at 30 minutes, so I can't imagine how long the podcast would have been if I had shown all the rest. So I'm glad I didn't, but I'm sorry to everybody who was expecting it all in one fell swoop. So on to stash enhancements. So I think I'll show non-yarn stuff first and then yarn stuff. I have heard of Sheep Incognito for a while, and I knew they were going to be at Rhinebeck, and I was going to buy stuff from them. So I got this print, Beside Still Waters. And if you can see that little sheep's face, doesn't he just look so happy? He looks so peaceful and happy and just so whimsical that I had to get him. I'm absolutely in love with his expression and those gorgeous trees and just beautiful print. And then, because I love odd jewelry, or not odd, but unique jewelry, not necessarily stuff that you would just go and pick up at a jewelry store. I would prefer like Etsy jewelry. I got one of their necklaces. And this is a ribbon tie. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. I don't have a cool camera, I don't have an expensive camera that focuses great on things, but let me describe it to you in words so that you can feel like you can zoom in. So it's little sheep, and they're holding on to flowers dancing in the wind. And the flowers appear to be orchids, and they're orange and red. Is it descriptive enough? But you can kind of see the sheep and the flowers. I was just very into combinations of this blue with this kind of red because at Rhinebeck, because as I was flying in, I could see the water and then the red trees, and that just reminded me of it. And then the next thing I got, well, this isn't in order, I'm just grabbing near me. Like I said, I really wanted a mug, it didn't even have to be the mug of the year because I knew I wasn't going to get that. I just wanted a random mug from Ginny the Potter, but they were all gone. And on the first day when we got over there. But I was like, I have to have something. So I got a necklace. She only had a couple things left when I finally found the booth. It's knit stitches, and it's in this bluish green color. It's a nice long necklace. I love unique jewelry. It's one of the things that I just really enjoy. And I'm mostly a necklace girl. I don't really wear a lot of rings or earrings or anything like that. And then the next thing, I had to get something for my daughter to bring back. And this is kind of funny because I went up to the area where they were having book signing. I thought it'd be fun to get something signed for her. And there was nobody at this particular booth, I think one other person maybe, but it wasn't crowded, where you were getting these books and getting them signed. And so I went up and got these signed for my daughter. Nancy Shaw, Sheep Out to Eat. And it's cute. For Faye, Nancy Shaw, and there's a little sheep. And the other one I got for my daughter, Sheep on a Ship. And so I got these, and I went to go pay her because I had cashed for all my, I had saved up and I had cashed so I wouldn't go over. And I went to pay her, and she said, oh no, the line's over there. And I turned around, and they had, you didn't pay at the booth that you bought it at. You got the stuff at the booth, and then there was one line for all this giant loop of booths. So I went and I stood in line. It was a pretty sizable line. It took a while, but I'm so happy that I brought her home something. She was very excited about these and thought the sheep were cute. I think that's almost all. I have one more non-yarn fiber thing. And this is from Cat's View Farm. Another thing I love, other than, unique necklaces, is soap. Handmade soap. And I could smell this booth. I got this the second day. It smells so good. I could smell this booth when I walked by it the first day, and I made a mental note, come back to that booth, because you can never have too much soap, right? People like you to smell good when you're around them. So I like to get soaps at festivals if they have them there. And in here, my daughter loved these too. She was taking them out and saying, Mommy, they smell so good. So I got Mountain Honey and Lavender. Oh, it's so good. It's just the right amount. It's like the lavender hits you first and then the honey. It's like, oh, it's so good. I love stuff that smells wonderful. And then this one is rosemary mint, which that mint is going to be so nice to wake you up in the mornings. Wake me up in the mornings when I shower. And then this one I smelled, and it smelled like Christmas. And I said, how many more of these do you have? And she goes, oh, those are the last two. And I bought her out. If she'd had more, I would have bought more. It smells like Christmas. And Halloween, I'm huge on Halloween, but Halloween is over. So I know Thanksgiving's coming up, but we're vegetarians. So it's not as much of a let's go eat turkey for us. It's more just family together time. And it's not as much food based for us. We normally go and deliver Meals on Wheels or go to a soup kitchen. It's more helping out others and being thankful. So I get excited for Christmas early. If you hate that, I'm sorry. But this smells like Christmas. Do you want to smell it? You can't. But it smells so good. It smells so good that it's making me a little bit giddy. Holiday Sparkle. And this has, I think, yeah, she has a website, Cat's View Farm. Maybe she'll have some more online. Oh, I can go get more. I think this would be a great Christmas gift. With my washcloths that I knit for my friends, I can put in a little bit of Holiday Sparkle. And that's all of the soaps that I got. And then the last of the yarn. This one's going to be a bit longer. Oh, I got a bag too. I got another bag from the Tangled Skein CA, but it's a Christmas bag, so I'll show you guys that at Christmas. I got another bag from my friend Andrea, who is the cat lady of awesomeness and hilariousness. She's so funny. I got to hang out with her at Rhinebeck, but she'd started spinning, and she was saying that she was running out of fiber, so I said, hey, give me your address and I will mail you some fiber. So I mailed her some, and she was so sweet, and she sews. So she said, I will make you a bag in exchange for the fiber, which she didn't have to do, but it was really cool that she did. This is Doctor Who TARDIS bag from perhaps the Exploding TARDIS, perhaps one of the best Doctor Who episodes, the Vincent van Gogh one. Which if you don't watch Doctor Who, you won't know what I'm talking about, but that one always makes me cry. If you've seen Doctor Who and you know, then yeah. But mini skeins, tea, and I'm not going to go through everything in here because it would take forever because she's so sweet and she puts so much in it. I gave her upbraided fiber and she has all this stuff in here. Tea, and lots of more mini skeins. I got some from Storm Coast and pencils, and she had chocolate in here, which was eaten at Rhinebeck. But yeah, so thank you again for the bag, and I love it. My husband or my son might steal it because they like that. Well, my son hasn't seen Doctor Who, but he thought it was a cool bag. And then now for the yarn and fiber. So like I was saying, when I recorded with Lauren, I was looking for some bright, happy yellow yarn. I asked my daughter, I said, what color yarn should I bring home? I always ask her about what I should bring home when I go to a festival. And she told me zholty yarn. And the funny thing about that is zholty is yellow in Russian, and I'm slowly teaching her different Russian words. I haven't talked about this on the podcast for a while, but I dabble in several different languages, and I'm not fluent in any other than English because I haven't been or lived in the countries, so there's a lot of words I don't know, but I've been teaching my daughter some different Russian words, and colors are one of them, and so she's obsessed with the color zholty, which is yellow in Russian, and this is just such a happy yellow. It's a lot more sunshine yellow. It's not going to show up right. It's showing up very pale, but it's very sunshine yellow. And I've never used this yarn before. This is Neighborhood Fiber Co. And this is the Cobblestone DK, 75% BFL and 15% cashmere and 10% silk. So it's not super soft like a merino would be because it's the BFL, but it's still nice, and I have a feeling it'll soak and block up really nice. And this color is Pin North, which I don't know what that relates to, but I got 2 skeins of this to make a shawl. And then this is the Boother saying, so beautiful. It had a lot of colors that were just The palette was very spread out and very beautiful. It was pleasing to the eye how it did it, because it kind of was a gradient across the booth. And I gravitated towards the blue. And this is Flying Goat Farm, and it's flyinggoatfarm.com. And this is Navajo turquoise, and it's hand-dyed yarn, luxury fibers, Nimbus, 100% alpaca, 200 yards. Nimbus, alpaca. And I got 2 of these as well to make a cowl for next year's Rhinebeck. I thought that would be pretty. This is showing up true to color. It's very much a aqua turquoisey blue. And I think it'll be nice and warm, because the one thing I wish that I'd had at Rhinebeck was a cowl to keep my neck warm. Otherwise I was really nice and snug, warm. Then I got 2 things of fiber, and these are both from Fiber Optic Yarns. And this one is called Emily, which reminds me of one of my Rhinebeck friends that I got to meet, an Instagram friend that I got to meet at Rhinebeck, Amelia. And this is from Kimber Baldwin Designs, who does fiber optic, and it's a 70% superwash merino wool and 30% sea cell. I like in my spinning fiber to have a little bit of bamboo, sea cell, silk, something that adds slip so that I can get it to draft really easily, and I just enjoy that. So that's all the yarn, or the fiber information. Oh, and it's pencil roving. I have waxed poetic on the podcast before about how much I love pencil roving. It's amazing, and I got these in mind for SSK next year. Not SSK. I didn't get into SSK. I'm on the wait list. But for Spinzilla next year, because since it's pencil roving, it will draft very nicely. And then the final one, you won't have much more crinkling, even though I love crinkling because it makes me excited. Blackbird, and this is the same blend as the other one. I think they were just a whole bunch in this same blend, and this was a nice, good priced blend. Oops. And this is just greens with some blue. So bluish, it's like almost a forest or a spruce green. So that is all from Rhinebeck, and it's over 30 minutes. This is why, sorry, I have a bug bite on my arm from being out trick-or-treating. This is why I didn't do it all at once, because I did not have time last. I don't have time today either, but I didn't have time to show it all at once. And mostly this week was non-yarn and fiber stuff. So let's get on to the book this week, because it's amazing. So have a lot of color blue and have a lot of Russian stuff. I don't know if you can see. I've got on my Matrushka necklace, which is also known as a Russian nesting doll. And the book this week is a Russian book, The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport. And I got this because if it has to do with this time period in Russia, it's a book, I will buy it. I own it more than likely, unless it's out of print. I don't go to those kind of extremes, but I just love knowing about this. If I were going to be a historian, I would be a historian on Russia in this time period, and maybe France in certain time periods. I know a lot about the French Revolution and stuff like that too, and I'm reading a book right now about France during the German occupation, but getting off topic. So I know a ton about this period in Russian history because I've read a ton on it and I've researched a ton on it, and I read textbooks for fun. Yes, I do. I may look a little crazy giddy and act a little silly, but I am a big learning nerd. I love my learning. And this book was a really big surprise to me because I did not think that I would learn anything new from it, because often when you read every book you can get your hands on a certain subject matter, it's a lot of repeating different things. But this book had so much that I didn't read and that I hadn't learned before, and not even about the 4 Romanov sisters, but about the Tsarina, and not as much about Nicholas, who's a czar, but it was a very great book and very sad. because, as of course, well, you might not know, but this is the last Tsar family of Russia, and they had 4 daughters and finally a son, 5th son. And it's a big thing in Russia, it was at the time, to have a son to carry on the name. The daughters didn't rule like they did in England, where they had like Catherine the Great. The daughters didn't rule, it had to be the son. And she had a son, but he had hemophilia, which was a disease, a blood disease, where your blood doesn't clot, that was running through her family because of all the intermarriages between people, which leads to problems. But so this book focused on the lives of the 4 daughters, and it had pictures and diary entries and letters to friends, and I really felt like I got to know the girls. I talk about them like I know them, and it just makes me so sad, the whole story. I felt like I got to know them on an individual, personal level so much more than I had ever gotten to before. And it has the Grand Duchesses, but there's Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia, and they're all, the personalities of all of them were so different. And there's the dark, brooding one who's very passionate. There's the inner, composed one who would have been a great queen had she lived. There's the third oldest daughter, who was very Russian. She's just had a Russian countenance. Of her physical appearance, she was the most Russian. She was very good-natured. Her father always said that she was a saint. And then there was Anastasia, who was a little tyrant and very much trickster and prankster, and very much kept the group laughing, and very funny and comical, one of the sisters. But it dealt so much more into each sister's life. So if you like history or Russian history, or if this is a time period that you're very into, I would highly recommend it. She's done other books, The Last Days of the Romanovs, and that's another good one. I think I have that one. If not, I need to get it. But this is The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport. And it's a hefty book. It's about 400 pages of text, and then several pages. As you know, if you read history books, you want to have a good reference section and note section, because that means they did their research. But about 100 pages of notes and references to her sources. And I loved this book. I didn't love it. I didn't have that like carrying it around with me like onto the ice, the tragic story of the Jeanette ship that sank. But I did love this book, and if you can get it from your library, and if it's something that interests you, I highly recommend you checking it out. So that's everything this week. I'm going to end it really quickly before I hit 40 minutes, because that would be crazy for me. But if you want a prize, please contact me. Please chat along and show us what you're knitting in the Sparkle Cal. And have a wonderful week till I talk to you next. Next week's will be a little bit later than normal, because my mom and I are going to have some mother-daughter fun for the first time ever. We've never done any kind of weekend thing together, so it'll be a little bit later. But till next time, I hope you all have a great week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.